Welcome back, everyone, to Mindful Leadership Beyond Borders. And our guest is Tracy Borreson from Calgary, Alberta. And we are discussing authenticity. What a phenomenal topic. And Tracy was mentioning again that the universe created each one of us as a unique human being. And her job when she works with her clients is to help us bring it out, because it's already inside. Just what does that really look like? And I mean, we've used Raj as an example because he is, to me, one of the most unique people on the planet. with the way he talks, the way he dresses, the way he presents himself, his branding on his own website as an executive search consultant, and so on. Tracy was saying how important it is for us to realize that authenticity takes time, but we have to have that intention that we're going to get there. And for me, it's taken me years to figure out who I am. And it took me courage because I was afraid. I was afraid to call myself the guru coach. People are going to think that, oh, who are you? You've got some ego that you're calling yourself a guru. Well, I wasn't calling myself that. The students were calling me that. So it's about giving ourselves permission. Right, Tracy?
Yes.
Take it away. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what I usually say is like I call it our personal brand, our authenticity, however you want to call that, genuineness, real you, it always exists from the time that we are born. And what happens is stuff gets layered over top of that. You should be this, you should do that. Girls are like this, boys are like this. And then we start to negotiate our identity so that we can fit into societal boxes. Now, on one side, our brain loves to fit into boxes. It loves when information fits neatly into a box, right? So it's easy to understand that our brains would do that. And so what is actually the harder thing is to look at these boxes and be like, do I believe that? If I was creating boxes, is that the box I would create? And then you start to look at it as if it's like, you're not looking at it as if it's a part of your identity you have to let go of anymore. You're looking at it from a perspective of like, that's something someone else told me I should be 30 years ago. And I don't believe that's true. So now I can let it go. And you start to continually move through those stories and those beliefs to figure out which ones are yours, which ones are others, the practice of letting other ones go, and then continually working towards your purest expression, or going back to the source, which is what you were when you were a pure little baby and nobody was telling you that you couldn't just cry and sleep and poop and that's not fine. So it's this ongoing journey towards that I don't like to say like a better you. I like to say the most you, the most you version of you. And that is different at different parts of our life. And it also changes with dramatic events that happen to us. So the person I am now as a parent is different than the person I was before I was a parent.
So what I really want to get out of this last segment here, and I'm sure we'll have you back because it's such an amazing topic, but how do you recommend to our viewers here on how to ignite the spark? How do they do that? How do they really start this whole journey of moving from blah to being authentic? Tell us what are the steps they can take?
So as I mentioned at the beginning, one of the easiest things to do is pay attention to what you do today that feels like it's you, like it's your purest expression of you. Raj and I are both dancers. I think we both experience this in dance, right? When I'm dancing, I'm not thinking about what the world thinks of me. I'm just moving and expressing. And it's not that dance is the right thing for all people, or that everyone will feel expressed through dance, but it's about connecting to those moments. And it doesn't have to be huge moments, right? Maybe it's listening to music in a car. Maybe it's walking in the sun. Maybe it's petting your dog. It doesn't have to be overly complex. What we're looking for are those moments where you feel like you're just being yourself. There's no expectations on the world. So those moments, those are the spark. So that's the spark we're trying to ignite. Now, what does a spark need to burn? It needs oxygen. So we need to feed it with something. What do we feed it with? We feed it with time. And so it's interesting because I had a conversation earlier today about productivity and how our concept of productivity mostly blows this availability of space up. If we can create space and time and intention focused on those things that feel sparkish for us. And again, some you might explore with and they don't end up lighting a spark. It is what it is. Keep exploring. But it is this giving things time and giving yourself space to explore and allowing yourself. I mean, I think all of us would say like, yeah, of course, we want to spend as much time in a day doing meaningful things as possible. And no, I'm not saying you can sit all day and pet your dog. Probably you need to eat. Probably you need to do other things. But when we can look at those things, look at those sparks and say, what is it about that spark that's making me feel like myself? I'm just like, yeah, the weight of the world isn't on me. Or yeah, there's something about like stroking something that makes me really feel at peace, right? Like these are things that then we can start to explore. How can I incorporate this, right? There's lots of workplaces now that will let you bring your dog to work. It's like, if that's going to make you feel more you and not have so much mind gossip that you are distracted from doing your work, awesome, right? It is 100% about creating time and space to do the things that light you up. And that's the oxygen. And I will tell you what I have seen happen every single time is once you start creating this space, you see the benefit in your life. You start to be more productive at work. You start to have your thoughts start to flow more freely. You start to feel like you're expressed. You don't feel like you're in this box and you're caged. And this is not about taking 8 hours a day to do that. It's about taking moments to intentionally do it. So if you could take 10 minutes today and pay attention, just ask yourself, journal it out. Some people like journaling. Some people would rather talk, whatever works for you. Take 10 minutes and just explore. What are those things? And then what if tomorrow you gave each of those things 1 minute?
But what if we were to ask our viewers to say, well, who do you really want to be? Is that a fair question? Because I mean, the real self.
I think it's hard.
Who
because
is the real you?
Yeah, I think that's a hard question because a lot of times we end up extrapolating it at another person, right? Like, I want to be like Brené Brown. Well, do you? Because you can't actually. What do you appreciate about Brené Brown, right? What do you see of yourself in that? And what moments in your life do you feel like that version of you? And sure, try it. I think the challenge with this, like, where are we going mentality is tricky in authenticity because a lot of times we don't know what that is. And we can see people on social media. I get this all the time. People telling me, I just need to be more like you. And I'm like, no, you don't. You need to be more like you. And so if there's something in me that ignites something in you, explore that, right? Maybe it's a bravery. Maybe it's pink headphones. Maybe it's the way I talk. Maybe it's the energy levels. Okay, so if enthusiasm is something that like lights you up, what makes you enthusiastic? Where does your enthusiasticness, that's not a word, where does that come from? I make up words all the time. It's part of what I do. But look at that because it's just this whole journey is not about being, it's actually not about being different than you are today. It's about embracing who you are today and knowing that tomorrow you're going to be a different version of that. And tomorrow you can embrace that version of that. And today this is about embracing who I am and not who I'm supposed to be.
So if we were to summarize these 3 segments that we've done, to me, just listening to you as the expert on this is, and I'm going to do this for myself because I believe I've got my own brand and everything, but it's really about what ignites the spark within us. That is what we need to find. Is that, Raj, is that your interpretation here?
For me also same, Tracy. I want to represent my own things, what I am. I'm not
Yeah.
copying, like, for example, I have seen some people, if they like any film star, any sport person, so they are not understanding their own power. They
Right.
are not understanding their own capability. Might
Yeah.
be I will become more better racer, and I'm copying some dancer. So it's my duty. I will realize my own power and own value. Then create
Yeah.
my own brand in this way. Not like if Tracy is very good in a high level presenter, high level coach, but my talent is like I'm good in programming. So why not I will brand my programming brand? Why I'm copying Tracy? Because that is her forte.
Mhm.
So I'm completely agree with both of you.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, thank you, Tracy. Wow. What an amazing discussion. I had no idea how deep this conversation would go. And I'm praying that it's really going to help a lot of people to in business and also at home.
Right.
You know, like I'm just thinking about this one couple that's going through a divorce. I don't think they really knew who their authentic selves really were. You know, so
This happens a lot in relationships.
Yeah. So it's important at home, it's important at work. And thank you for bringing your wisdom to us today. I am just so deeply honored to have met you. And let's get together again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can anybody out there hear me? Hear me?